What's up, guys? Unfortunately, we are not at the track right now with the MR2. There's nothing I would rather be doing right now than getting this thing down the track and getting some testing done, but our plans have changed over the last couple days. We've been kind of quiet. Our original plan was to get the MR2 directly to the track the day after we got it off the dyno over at Fuel Tech, but that ended up not working out, so we brought the car home and we have been waiting for the next available track rental over at Bradenton. And we were actually supposed to go this last Friday, but unfortunately we didn't have enough people to make a private track rental happen, so that didn't go down. So we've just been waiting anxiously to get this MR2 to the track and start testing on the new setup, and that has been the only thing on my mind these last few days. Like anything else, I don't even care about. I just want to get this thing to the track and start testing. But we have taken the last couple days to just double check some things on the car, button up a couple things here and there that we didn't get done while it was over at Fuel Tech. So we got the bumper put back on the car, and we have a aluminum block off plate on the front there to cover up that hole that used to be there for the radiator and stuff. So that's all covered up now. Should help with the aerodynamics. Got a Fuel Tech sticker on there, looking nice. What else? We got the carbon fiber trunk all bolted on and ready to go. Something else I want to do in the future, or as soon as possible on this car, is get a drag wing off the back of the trunk here just to help with stability at high speeds. The first few passes on the car, we're going to slowly start introducing more and more speed and make sure everything still feels stable and good, because we no longer have the factory wing, and I don't know how much that played a factor in the stability of the car at those high speeds, so that is something we need to take into account. Also, we got a parachute handle installed. We got rid of the old one, and we have our new Billet Motion Raceworks parachute handle in there with a brand new cable. The old parachute handle was really stiff and it would bind up and it was kind of sketch. This one is very nice quality and it does not hang up at all. Super smooth. We've popped the chute out a couple times and it feels very good, and it is in a much better spot, so when I reach up I can throw the chute right away. The old one was kind of a tight spot and I was kind of looking for it in the car. This one is set up much better. We also pulled the parachute out of the bag here just to make sure it was looking good, it wasn't too tore up or anything, because it's been a while since we've actually taken a look at the parachute, and it's all ready to go. So we're good to go. The car has just been sitting patiently waiting to go to the track, and it's a matter of time before we start doing some testing in the MR2. But unfortunately, still gonna have to wait a couple days, but it's coming. We're gonna get this thing to the track, start doing some testing. We set up a table for the wheelie control and just a good starting point on everything, just to kind of, you know, get the ball rolling. But we're not gonna really see the results until we start testing and playing with the car. So whole new setup, still gonna be a learning curve. Don't know if we're gonna be breaking any records the first time out, but we got to get it out as much as we can and test as much as we can to hopefully get it back to where it was and then start shooting for some new records. So she's gonna be waiting for now, but in today's video we actually got some updates on the hatch. The poor hatch, man. Thing's been sitting neglected. Stole the turbo off of it for the 240. No wiring harness. This poor car, man. Hurts me to see it turboless and not running for months on end. But, you know, today we're gonna give her some attention, try to see if we can't get it fired up. When we came to Florida, the car ran fine, and then I parked it right here, and then for whatever reason it wouldn't fire again, and we tried to figure out why it wouldn't start. We traced the issue back to the injectors not firing. We double checked that it wasn't the computer. We pulled this ECU out, put it in the Freedom Civic. It starts the Freedom Civic just fine, and then we put the Freedom Civic's ECU in here. Same issue, so I don't think it's a problem with the computer. We tried to make sure there were no weak connections or anything in the harness. Couldn't really find anything, so what I ended up doing is I just ripped the whole wiring harness that was in this thing out, and we are putting a brand new, nice mil-spec harness into the hatch here, because the harness that came out of it was pretty old and crusty and nasty and had some, you know, loose ends on it and questionable wiring that I've done in the past. So we're gonna start fresh, because if this doesn't fix the issue, it's at least one less variable, and we can keep going from there to figure out why this thing doesn't wanna frickin' run anymore. But yeah, there she is. There is the old harness. Like I said, this thing is very gross. There's a whole bunch of loose ends on it, lots of butt connectors, electrical tape, pigtails that are zip tied together. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the issue lies within that harness itself. And then this is our new harness. This is from Rhino Wiring. It is a nice mil-spec harness for the H-swap into the EK there. And we're gonna get that on there, plug our computer in, and see if we can't get this thing fired up. I'm sure a lot of you guys that are newer to the channel probably know me best for the MR2 or maybe the minivan, even Wago over there, but the hatch was the original car that I learned everything on. This thing came factory with a single cam D16 Y7. I knew nothing about cars. I had to Google how to put a cold air intake on it. I had to Google how to change an axle and to pull the engine. I didn't know literally anything about cars at all. I learned everything myself with this hatch right here. That is the original harness that I had done when I did the H-swap. And it is pretty cool to see how far we've come. And this is the only car that still has all the original stuff on it. You know, that's why it does look kind of old, beat up. That's how I was. I was greasy. I'd go to the junkyard. You know, I didn't care about the appearance. I just wanted it to rip and smoke Mustangs. So that's all I cared about. And, you know, it's still true to its OG character, but we're slowly going to start, you know, upgrading the hatch here and there. We're going to be focusing on the MR2 for a while, getting it dialed, but we got a whole bunch of awesome parts here for the hatch, and she's going to be getting the love she deserves. But it is cool to see, but this will probably be one of the last looks at, you know, kind of the OG setup. Got the original manifold I made on there. That was my first turbo manifold I ever welded on the car. We have all these studs broken off right there that we need to get fixed up, and, you know, my original intercooler fab is on there, my first charge pipe I ever made, and it's crazy to see how far we've come. But it's time to start upgrading this old girl right here. But let's go ahead and start getting this harness on there and plug the computer in, see if it wants to pop. Well, fast forward about 4 hours later, and we're in the same spot. Same freaking issue. Got the new harness on there. I thought this would solve all of our problems, but once again, the car does not start. It does not Noid the injector light, and I do not know what the hatch's deal is. I didn't film any of it. I was just getting down and dirty trying to figure this thing out. I really thought the new harness would solve all of our problems there, but I guess not. It turns out that this harness I got, I forgot to specify which OBD 1 or 2 plug I needed for the distributor. It had an OBD 2 plug on the harness, but my distributor's OBD 1, so I had to depin the plug, and I just shoved all of the pins into the right spot for now, just for testing purposes. I know I got all that stuff right because the car does fire up fine on starter fluid, and the Noid light will go off if I ground the pin directly at the computer for that injector. I have the Noid light on number 1 right now, so I know there's no bad connection for the ground of the injector. We have powered all the injectors. You know, it's running, so that tells me that the crank position sensor in the distributor is fine, which would be giving the signal to the ECU when to fire the coils and injector, or the spark plugs I mean, because this car doesn't have coils. But yeah, I have no freaking idea what the problem is. I've been looking on forums for the last hour, triple checking everything. Brent and Fong were over here a while ago and they couldn't figure it out, and they were looking at it for hours. I don't know what it is. It is so freaking weird. The only thing I can think is whatever ground that the ECU uses to ground out the injectors isn't there, even though I've double checked all the grounds, tried multiple ECUs. I also tried another distributor just to be sure, because maybe there's like another crank position sensor in there I don't know about. I have no freaking idea. You guys could probably suggest whatever you think it is, but I guarantee you I've tried it all. So it runs on brake cleaner, runs perfect, just no Noid to the injectors. They have power, they just won't ground. I don't know where the issue is. Freaking hatch doesn't want to start. I gave it my best shot today, and I really thought that harness was going to do it. But, you know, I think my plan of action here, unless I get a solid recommendation of what it is to wait a little longer. I think I'm going to rip all this stuff back out, and I'm going to see what I can do just to get a fuel tech in there and restart and rewire the whole thing into a fuel tech and make it all nice, because I think that's the route we're going to go with this thing anyways. Seeing how well the fuel tech and everything was working on the MR2, I think we're going to do it in the long run, so I might as well start now and prepare for that. But I was really hoping we could get it fired up on this setup just to go have some fun again. But man, I don't know, boys. Main relay's good, everything's good. It runs fine, just no injector noiding. Don't know why. It's so bizarre. But yeah, sorry for leaving you guys hanging for like a week after we got the MR2 off of the dyno. Like I said, we were supposed to bring it right to the track the next day, and you know, I was really excited. I had everything planned out. We were gonna have back-to-back content, and then we had issues with the hatch. That was supposed to run, and I was supposed to be able to drive it around. We were gonna go have some fun with that. That didn't work out. We were gonna take the NSX out and do some collaborations with that, but it has been acting up, and out of all the cars, I did not have to expect to touch this one, but me and Wyatt have been working on this thing all day. And yeah, we're also putting a water pump kit on the minivan right now. It's up on the lift. We've just been wrenching away, and I feel like that stuff isn't that exciting to film all the time. So I apologize, this is an update. We're gonna be taking the MR2 to the track here in the next couple days, hopefully. We actually might be getting rain, so if that happens, I'm gonna freaking, I just wanna go. So yeah, apologize. This is just gonna be an update video. I'll probably take it down later, honestly, just for those that have been asking where we've been. So, you know, we don't have all the help in the world here. It's just us, me and Wyatt, and sometimes you're gonna have that. So we'll see you guys at the track, hopefully soon. I'm just as impatient as you guys, don't worry.